Back again at Talk Football Live. I've got the crew here with me. Charles is here, Cincy is here, Biodo is here. We got the whole gang. We've got three big games this weekend. The weekend kicks off with Newcastle facing off against Man City. City is visiting St James's Park. And while Rodri hasn't started, a lot of games this season, it's going to be the first true test of what City looks like without Rodri. We know Rodri is going to be out for a few months. I don't think we have a full prognosis yet. It hasn't been
It's out
confirmed
for
if
the
it's
season.
a. It hasn't
No,
been fully confirmed yet. All we know that has been confirmed so far is that he has ligament damage. Now, will it be? Is it an ACL tear? Is it 5 months? Is it 9 months? We don't know yet. So waiting to hear that. But all we know is Rodri's out for a while. How are you guys feeling? You guys ready to dive into the weekend?
yeah,
So,
let's do it.
Ayo, remember when
Awesome.
Timber had his ACL injury, right? We all look
Yeah.
and saying, "Oh, we don't know,
Yeah,
it's gonna come back."
ACL is
And
quite difficult.
we saw Timber in the gym working out. Like there's a new method that they can make this thing faster, bro. Rodri is not coming back this season.
Nah,
Let's
you
just
can't. You can't. That ACL, you can't mess it. By the way, before we continue, please, if you haven't yet, please help us subscribe, keep up with us. We do this every single week, and we've got a whole rotating roster of folks: Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans, Man U fans. We want to get the fans' perspective on the games ahead of the weekend. All right, let's dive right into it. It's Newcastle up against City. So, Bjorn, you started talking about Rodri, right? How do you see? You like to dive into Pep's mind, right? How do you think Pep, starts setting City up, knowing that Rodri is going to be out for an extended period?
if I guessed right, to be honest, and I'm sure you guys will probably agree, Rodri's injury is unfortunate. I mean,
Yeah.
as an Arsenal fan, it's not. I mean, nobody celebrates injuries to other. That's not good. It's unfortunate we're not going to witness a very fine footballer for the rest of the season. I think he's out for the season. But on the other side for us, it helps balance things out because it weakens City a little bit. The truth of the matter is, I don't think Pep would be really, really worried. He's going to be worried, but he's not going to be really, really worried. And what do I mean by that? If you look at the standard and where City are today,
Yeah.
City is really, really not focused on winning the league as chasing the Champions League. Their main
Mm,
focus is the Champions League. That is the most important thing. They've dominated the Premier League. If they win it this time around, it's just to make the record difficult for anybody to break in the future. So of course
But
they
is that because they feel like the Premier League is easy now? Like they've won it back to back to back
they
four
figured it out
times,
and they
four
have it.
times in a row
They have
now?
the strongest, they have the best squad to play the EPL again this season. What I'm trying to say is there are other players that I can tell you that are on the bench, that are in the squad, that can come in. They won't play like Rodri, they won't be Rodri, but they can make the system work to win games.
Yeah.
Now, will they win games against the contenders? I don't know. We just saw it last weekend. The game momentum changed. The balance changed a little bit. If it wasn't for the red card, we nobody could tell. Anything could have happened, right? Maybe Arsenal could have lost. Maybe Arsenal could have won with more goals. I don't know. But Rodri coming out, we saw the difference. What I'm trying to say is that Kovacic, Nunes, all these guys stepping in, they can fill that gap playing the EPL games. What they cannot fill is Rodri missing in Europe. And I think
Mm.
that's where the difference will come. That's where the headache is for Pep. He's trying to win that. Seems like Real Madrid would be happy fighting and playing them. Because I'll give you two examples. I had a quick sync with Donadoni, and we should have had him maybe today for him to speak for himself. But I'll tell you what Donadoni actually highlighted to me and shared. I'm sorry that I'm going to try to wrap this up. Donadoni told me something. Again, you guys know he's not a big fan of Bernardo Silva. He doesn't like Bernardo Silva standing in gap. He thinks that is actually a romance between Guardiola and Bernardo Silva. Because, and I said, I don't think there's a romance. I think it's just his Pep's favorite. Now, the difference between that game, when they were passing the ball around and passing the ball trying to equalize against Arsenal, if Rodri and KDB were in that game, there
Yeah.
are high chances that the goals could have come in earlier. Why? What do I mean by that? Rodri knows how to play those shots that curved
From the
into
edge
the
of
net.
the
He
box.
knows how to bend those shots. 2, 3, 4 shots would have come from Rodri. I can
Yeah.
guarantee that. Same thing with De Bruyne. De Bruyne will not dribble. He will play it once because he's one of those players that when he passes the ball, before the defender resets and maintains the shape, he
He's
passes.
back at it again. Yeah,
He's back. So it doesn't give the defender to have time to settle and
time
reset.
to settle.
They were missing those two players, and that's what they will miss in Europe.
So Charles, looking at the game this weekend, right? Newcastle against City. As Bjorn pointed, Rodri kind of balances things out. Even aside from the fact that Haaland is on ridiculous form, this season, 10 goals so far in 5 games. Does Rodri's absence give Newcastle a balance, a chance to maybe snatch a win against City at St. James's Park?
Um, Rory's absence is a big deal. As Bjorn pointed out, a bigger deal in Europe. But as he also pointed out, Pep has figured out EPL, so it may not be a big deal like that. But does it give Newcastle the chance to snatch a win? I doubt it. Maybe snatch a draw. Maybe snatch a draw. Because at the end of the day, what Rodri does, we haven't really seen anyone in the City team that can do it as much as he does this. And I think the case of Rodri being missing, case of City missing Rodri, is not about if City will figure out how to fix the problem. It's about when. How soon will they figure it out? Maybe they'll figure it out by the game against Newcastle. Maybe not, because it's just so close to where Rodri's injury happened. But regardless of that, I think to answer your question of would Newcastle be able to snatch a win, I really doubt it, because the past couple of games I've seen Newcastle they've been decent, but also they've conceded. They've been conceding. So they are not as good as the back as they were last season. And I know the likes of Savinho, Doku, or Grealish with Haaland up front will take advantage of that. So I think Newcastle will be able to snatch maybe a goal or two. But will they win the game? I really doubt it. I think City, the players, they are very adaptable, they're very versatile. The coach is probably one of the smartest coaches in the world right now. He knows how to plug in those spaces. And it's not only Rodri that's missing, as Bedu mentioned. KDB is also missing.
Yeah.
So going into the Arsenal game, KDB was already an issue, although it was kind of balanced out because Odegaard was also missing. But Rodri going out, so now they have Rodri and KDB missing. I would love to see how Pep is going to set up. I would love to see where Bernardo Silva will play, where the likes of Kovacic will play.
How do you think he lines them up in midfield with Rodri and KDB absent?
It's very difficult to say. If it was just one person that was missing, it would be easy. But because KDB and what's his name and Rodri are both missing,
right,
it's not like a totally makeshift midfield. I know Kovacic is probably gonna play in there, but who's gonna play that position of DM? I can't really say. And now there's also Stones, who comes from the defense.
Center back.
I'm sorry?
From center back
position to plug in. Would he push Stones up front to play the Rodri position? I actually wouldn't be surprised if he does that. So that's one option there. Stones up front with the likes of Foden or Benacer playing along with him, or Kovacic probably. So Stones along with Kovacic. I know Pep is quite unpredictable, so I won't be surprised whatever he brings up. But I look forward to seeing it.
All right. So it looks like, in conclusion, right, for this weekend, maybe it's not that much of a big deal that Rodri is out. I think we're still unconfirmed on whether KDB is going to be available, because last weekend, ahead of the Arsenal game, Pep said, that we'd see in the training on Saturday whether KDB would be available. And as we know, he missed it. So that maybe gives a hint that he's not out for as long as we might have thought. Also, something important to note. So just two quick things on Rodri, right? City lost 3 games last season, and those 3 games that they lost were the games that Rodri was absent.
Yeah.
But something else to note is that this season, the game against Arsenal was actually Rodri's first start this season, and they didn't lose, the first 4 when he didn't start. He came on, I think, in the 4th game, but he actually didn't start those 4 games. So, as you guys have pointed out and are concluding, Rodri maybe being absent in the Premier League is not going to be that much of a miss this season. So with all that said, Benga, let me put you on the hot spot. How do you see, what's your prediction for this game, Newcastle against City?
Oh, I think this is an easy win for City, man. And the reason is because,
Really?
I think so. and I'll tell you why. and it's because of the way City is currently playing right now. Forget about the Arsenal game. The Arsenal game was more of a situational game where it was very, very tactical. But removing the Arsenal game and watching Newcastle against Fulham last weekend, they showed a little bit of porosity in their defense. And with Haaland in form, and KDB currently at 75%, is going to be back on the team. I don't think they're going to miss Rodri much in the Premiership. Foden is still yet to even play as much. We still have Foden sitting there. So don't worry. I don't see Newcastle beating City even away, and then this game, especially with the form Haaland is in currently right now. So yeah, I think this is going to be more of a, I want to say 3-1 for City on this game.
Okay.
Can I add something real quick?
It seems unanimous then that City is going to take this. Biero, yes, your own prediction.
Real quick.
Charles,
Biero first, your prediction.
Oh, Biero, go ahead.
Okay. Cincy, I hear you, but I want to remind everybody. If you guys maybe watched or you did not, go back and check the Newcastle Tottenham game, right? That was a very good game. I think that was like 3 or 4 Sundays ago. Newcastle Tottenham game. Tottenham played as much as the kind of press you would expect from City. So I've seen them played against Tottenham. They held on. And I've said this on the show before. It's difficult to play Newcastle at home. Newcastle are very bad away on the road. But at home, they try to keep their points. And they ride on the chant and the noise and the support of their fans. That is going to help them. They are light at the bar because they didn't do a lot of business. I hear you. I get that. But I think Newcastle is one of the disciplined team that they can play a very frustrating kind of game. It's going to be a decision for Eddie Howe to either say, okay, we're not going to go toe-to-toe, or if they go toe-to-toe, they will go physical. That's how they play. Rodri, you guys are missing the things Rodri, what he does. He does a lot of things. Rodri and Walker.
Yeah, we're not disputing that fact, but the fact that they've played 4 games.
I am telling you that Newcastle is going to go physical. And there are very few guys.
It doesn't matter what they are going to do.
There are very few guys.
They are still going to get spanked.
Okay,
they are still going to get the ass.
We're going to be back. I don't think it's good. See, if Newcastle lost that game, it's going to be a very slim margin, maybe 2-1 or 3-2. But I'm saying this game will end up in a draw.
Okay. But I still think
it's a draw. Okay, so it's a win. It's a win from Cincy. It's a draw from Biero. Charles, your final point, and then we'll move on to the other games.
Yes. So one thing you guys said at the beginning was Biero said Pep will move past EPL because he has figured out to get past EPL teams. He has figured out to win EPL. Where we have an issue with Rodri's absence is in Europe. Thinking about it now, I actually disagree. You know why I disagree? Because knowing Pep is 3 steps ahead. Last season, like you said, the 3 games City lost were 3 games Rodri missed. That's something Pep would have prepared for this season. Not only in the EPL, but also in the league. For them to have played 4 games without Rodri and won those 4 games, it means they can do so in Europe and win those games. So I don't think they'll have an issue in Europe either.
Good point.
Okay.
Now, to talk about the Newcastle game,
and I will respond if I can.
I would disagree with Cincy and agree with Cincy at the same time. Disagree by saying it won't be an easy win.
Yes.
I don't think it will be an easy win. I'm agreeing with Biodun on that, but I agree with Cincy on the scoreline. It will be 3-1.
3-1?
The difference is Haaland is on the form of his life. 10 goals in 5 games, even scoring against Arsenal I couldn't score against last season. It says something. Without Rodri or with Rodri, without KDB or with KDB, Haaland has been balling. So I think Newcastle's defense is going to collapse to Haaland and co, and they're going to score 3 goals. Now, is it going to be easy? Not necessarily. Because like you said, Newcastle's at home and they play well at home.
How do you score 3 goals and that is not easy?
Hey,
Haaland.
You struggled for 80 minutes and not score 3 goals in 10 minutes.
Check this
That
record out.
doesn't mean the game was easy.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right.
I said this thing last.
Biero with the last point.
The records again. Last season, remember, Haaland goals went down when KDB had injuries. When KDB came back, he started getting more chances. KDB had started games this season. That's why you see Haaland goals, because the chances that were created were a lot more.
Let me
No. Listen, I won't argue with you. I'm just going to give you facts. I'm just going to give you facts. They go and check all the games. They back-to-back hat tricks. KDB played, so he created more chances. KDB doesn't hold the ball; he creates chances. He will give you that pass. If he misses this weekend, right, there's going to be less chances created for Haaland. Haaland might not have that goal scoring opportunity that you are talking about. But the good thing for them is that KDB will return very quickly. So I am telling you that, yes, he scores a lot of goals. He's a good striker. I don't dispute that. But those chances come when KDB is in the game. He opens them up. These other guys that you are talking about the only ball carrier now left is Kovacic and Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva is a bit slower because he moves around to create chaos. His style is different. It's great, but his style is different. The thing about Pep is the same person that will mess up his tactics. I honestly believe that he had a strong attack. When you play Doku and Savio, it's too much for any defense to hold on to. How can you defend against Savio and Doku? That's what he should have done against Arsenal. He should have kept those two and double on them. Bring in Grealish,
and that's exactly what he's going to do against Newcastle.
But he didn't do that. He removed them. So,
but exactly my point. And you're talking about KDB, and I'm like, you're forgetting about Savio. Savio is.
I know. You're going to have to change your style. You're going to have to change your style.
And I think that boy is actually going to make the difference for Man City this year. Against Arsenal, that boy was phenomenal. That boy is a very good player. And that's why I feel like I don't even think they're going to miss Rodri that much in the Premiership. Now,
there is.
In the UCL, I agree.
There's a danger in that middle that you people are not seeing.
I know, but
nullifies a lot of threats.
Can do a good job.
Kovacic cannot nullify that threat.
He can do it very well. Let me tell you something. He can do all the things Rodri can do as far as defensively, right? One thing that Rodri
he doesn't know how to tackle. He doesn't know how to tackle. He slides. He doesn't know how to tackle. He will get cards.
But I think so. The thing though is Rodri doesn't tackle. If you guys notice, I can't remember the last. Rodri's tactical aware. Yeah, Rodri is just so tactically aware that he's always in the right spot at the right time. So that's it. And maybe Kovacic has some way to grow there, right? It's more maybe in the creation of chances because, like Bjorn said, right, it's that ability to recycle possession quickly. That's what Rodri does. That is just so phenomenal for me because. You see a team try to play out, and Rodri is there. It's a one-touch pass to the defense. They play it back into him, and he's played it forward. That quick recycling pass, I think, is what they are going to miss when
Rodri has only played one game this year, right? And the fact that Haaland has scored 10 goals without Rodri speaks volumes.
It speaks volumes. And one more thing. You guys keep talking about KDB also. The fact that Pep has figured out how to win without Rodri, you think he hasn't figured out how to win without KDB? I mean, the guy who gave the assist to Haaland against Arsenal was Savio, as Cincy mentioned. So I don't think Rodri and KDB being missing. I think. Come on, we've been saying it for
now. Let me take that back, Charles.
They have people who can do the
having
job
KDB and Rodri missing for so long, we definitely hurt City. I'm sorry, man.
Oh, definitely because there's just a level of quality. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. We're just going to take quick predictions from the other games this season. So Newcastle, this is the first game. We'll look at Arsenal, Leicester. Cincy, you want to give us a quick prediction on that one? Arsenal
Leicester. Oh, this is definitely a revenge. Not revenge, but this is like these guys are coming out of war. I mean, the display I saw from Arsenal on this Sunday, it shows me that these boys are ready, man. I think they are ready to battle it out with City. I don't see Leicester having a chance in this game. In fact, I'm predicting 5-0 on this one.
Come on.
Okay.
5-0 for Arsenal.
All right, moving on to Brentford West Ham. Charles, do you want to give a prediction on this? No, actually, I don't. So West Ham lost 5-1 against Liverpool during the midweek against Liverpool in the League Cup. How do you guys see them faring against Brentford? Charles, what's your prediction on that one?
I had an interesting one for Arsenal Leicester, but I'll let it go. Brentford West Ham. I mean, I'm seeing a draw in this game because I know West Ham, they can step up when they really want to. And Brentford, they've been very decent with the likes of Wissa and Umbomo balling. Wissa is a doubt. I think he was injured in the last game. I'm not sure.
Wissa is injured.
He's injured, so he's not back. But Umbomo is on form. So I think they can get a 2-2 draw in this game.
Okay, 2-2 draw.
Yeah.
All right, the next one up is Chelsea Brighton. So both teams are showing a lot of promise this season. I think Chelsea has been the laughing stock for a while, but as you can all see, Charles is back here. He's in his jersey. He's ready to rep Chelsea fully once again.
That
And
logo never left. So
Brighton,
I've always been repping.
like I said, it was in the background. Now it's front and center on the jersey.
Oh.
So let's hear it from you, Charles. Coming into this one, how are you feeling ahead of this game against Brighton? Fabian Huntelaar has been doing a good job this season with Brighton, and I
You know
think they
what's
are yet to
funny?
lose. They haven't yet lost this season. Chelsea have
They
lost.
have
They've lost
well,
one game, but
there's the
they're
first
fit
time
at the
for
moment.
everything. So the thing is, how am I feeling going into this game? I feel great actually. When Maresca
I
was
can tell.
hired, I made a statement and you guys laughed at me. Specifically, Biodun laughed when I said Arteta being a pedigree has helped Arsenal be where Arsenal is today. And I really hope Maresca can do the same for Chelsea. Because even if it's 1 year or 1.5 years he spent under Pep, he's been there under Pep. He was dead the year Pep won the treble. And I said, I hope he can help Chelsea. And Biodun laughed. Like, oh, how long has he with Pep? Blah, blah, blah. The point is, I've always said it since Abramovich left. The hired Graham Potter, I was like, no, I don't want that guy. The hired Pochettino. This summary was, I always said one thing Chelsea needed, the players and the team, was a disciplinarian. Someone who would tell you, this is what I want. You either do it or you're out. And once Maresca was hired, because that's one thing I saw in Pep, that's one thing I saw in Arteta, how we handled Ozil, handled Aubameyang, a disciplinarian. That's what I like about Ten Hag, but I think he does his own too much and he's not getting results with it. But that's by the way. I've always wanted someone who can stand their ground and say, Sterling, you are not playing, you are out. And he was out. I've always wanted someone and that's what Poch lacked. His team, last season, our team had the most yellow cards. We were bad at, when we're leading, we weren't disciplined not to hold our lead. All those things all went back to discipline. It starts from the coach. The team is a reflection of the coach. So wrapping up my point, I think Maresca is going to be good for Chelsea. I hope he stays long enough for us to see results. I'm very, very confident into it. Whatever game we're going, if I'm facing Arsenal tomorrow, Liverpool, City, whoever, I'll be confident. Not confident that we'll win, but confident that we'll show up. So against Brighton, you said they've not lost the game this season. Well, I predict this will be their first loss. Because City's defense is, not City, Chelsea's defense is stepping up now. The goalkeeper is back how he's supposed to behave. And the attack, let's not even talk about the attack. Palmer is on form. We have 2 players for every position right now, and every player is fighting. And it's showing on the field. Everyone wants to play, everyone wants to perform. So you all know I'm not a big fan of Nicholas Jackson, but I think this is the season. So I look forward to seeing Chelsea against Brighton. What is my prediction? I'm going to
hold on your production. Think about that and I'll come back. Let me get a rebuttal from Biodun because I know Biodun has deep. I'm just going to call it deep hatred. Deep hatred for the Chelsea Blues. So let's get the negative point of your perspective, Charles.
You only have 5 minutes, please.
Michael Jackson.
Or less.
Michael Jackson on the beat. Wait, did you say you're beginning to like Jackson, or what did you say, Charles?
Yeah, I said that. And this,
no, he did. He said he's not a fan of him, but
I didn't say I'm
he
beginning
thinks
to
this
like
is
him.
season. What does that mean, though, Charles?
He said this is the
season.
This is the season. What does that mean? Like this is
does that mean this?
Like you're in church, like you're praying. This is my season.
Okay, hold on, let me respond now.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of Jackson because I think he could be better as a striker. He could be a more clinical finisher. But this season, I'm slowly getting gaining more respect for him.
Until it starts.
And what does that mean? What does that mean when you say this is his season? Does that mean he scores 30 goals this season? Does that mean he leads you to the title, to Champions League?
It carries you.
What does that look like?
This season, he can become Chelsea's highest goal scorer, and I'm thinking 20 plus goals.
20 plus goals. Okay.
That's fair.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
All right.
That's fair.
Right.
That's
so,
fair.
Biodun, let's take the negative side of how you see this game.
So this guy, see,
Before I take
don't mind this guy.
Cincy's neutral
I
position.
can't even process everything he said. He said a manager that can instill discipline, blah 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 blah. He said all that. So Pochettino didn't instill discipline, right? That's what you are saying.
Yep.
Okay, accepted. But remember, he didn't say that when Pochettino was hired, right?
You sure?
Now, these people.
Are you sure?
Did you say that? Did you say anything about
100%.
Pochettino? What was your view on Pochettino?
My view of Pochettino is not a clutch coach. When your teams are, there's some coaches that that when their teams are one goal up, they probably won't give up that lead. Mourinho's, there's a way they set up the team. It comes to discipline. To defend, even the way Arsenal defended against City, although you guys considered an end of a draw, regardless, you were one man down anyways. It takes discipline. It comes from the coach. Go check how many yellow cards Chelsea got last season. Go check how many yellow cards Jackson alone got last season for talking back at the referee or kicking the ball away. It's all about, if it happens once, what I always say in our chat, if I'm a coach and a player of mine kicks the ball away and gets a yellow card for it, you're going to sit on the bench for the next 5 games. Because the rule for kicking the ball away has been in play for like 2-3 seasons. Why are you not accustomed to it by now? Jackson did that like 3, 4, 5 times last season. He was one of the most carded players last season. And Chelsea was one of the most carded teams last season. It's all about discipline. If you don't discipline, if you are making mistakes like kicking the ball away, talking back at the referee, you do it in one game, and the next game you're doing it again and again, your coach is not disciplined because he hasn't told you guys to stop. And if he has told you guys and you're not stopping, he hasn't punished you for not stopping. So Pochettino did not have discipline. Maresca does, and I've seen the effect of him being more disciplined than Pochettino. It shows in our gameplay. It shows in his press conference. It shows in our results. Back to you, Biodo.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Guys, it is just few weeks into the league. He's making this assertion regarding Maresca. So please note it down. When Maresca begins to lose, when Maresca begins to fire player, I mean, he already sent out Sterling, right? When Maresca begins to deal with all these people and the old dressing room scatter, we are coming back here. And if you like, what ball you wear, don't wear that jersey. Go and wear that your singlet, right? I won't say anything. I mean, everybody
can focus on the game, please.
Right?
With Chelsea Brighton.
Chelsea Brighton.
How many minutes
Chelsea Brighton. The first real test that these people had was against Man City. We all know how he ended. They beat them at home. They have no shame. Yeah. Instead of these people to be pressing their brother, Arsenal, they will not. Man City came to your house, defeated you. You could not score any one goal. We went to there. We almost beat there. 45 seconds. He paid me. See, if we had won that game, today would have been different. Like, I will even send you out of this of this recording. I will
focus on the game. No Chelsea Brighton. Chelsea Brighton.
So leave that one. Chelsea Brighton. I don't like Brighton, but at this point, I'm supporting Brighton. And I believe those guys can do it. I believe they can do it. I believe they can do it. No, jokes apart, those guys, they've surprised me. Remember our first recording? We counted Brighton out. I was actually even saying that I don't know what that 31 coach can do. I myself, I doubted the guy. So far, the guy has shocked me. He's the youngest manager in EPL, right? So far. And the guy has done well. So the way they are playing, that confidence is growing. And I think they can take that confidence to Chelsea. To be honest, this is a good
what do you see in the way they've set up this season? What do you see that he's doing maybe differently or the way he's setting Brighton up?
I see his style same as the way Tottenham Ange wants to play and build Spurs. But he is doing way better than Spurs, and this is his first season. So that really shocked me when the games that I've seen. Now I think he's doing better because that defense is still very great. Luis Dong, all these guys are back there. Then he replaced them. He replaced the older ones. Now he fixed the midfield, which I don't know whether will last. I mean, it's still very early. I think that midfield needs to be tested. That midfield of Baleba and all these guys, it needs to be tested. But even with Mitoma, that is not back in form, Adingra is doing well. Like, these guys are doing very well. So I think it's going to be a great game because I actually want to see whether Chelsea is real or not. I'm one of those people that I still don't believe whether Chelsea is really real. I still have a feeling that it's still the last season. But this game will maybe almost convince me whether they have gotten it right. Because They have no reason not to get it right.
Fair
That
point.
rebuilding has started like two years now. So we need to start
Right.
seeing a serious Chelsea. And this game is a good test for them. I know it's not going to be one of their toughest games for this season, but this Brighton game is actually going to be a retest because look at the other games. They've been able
Yeah.
to outrun them. They have very good strikers that can run. Like Madueke is getting chances right now. Palmer is comfortable in front of the goal. Jackson is more calm. All he needs is just tap in and finish it. So they are doing the right things. But I think this Brighton game will be a very good test for them to actually see whether they figured it out or not. I still think
Yeah.
Chelsea's defense is still not matured. It's not.
I was going to say the exact same
It's still
thing.
not matured to win any championship. Like I've always
Yeah.
said, to win championship, it's the defense. To win games is the attack. They are winning games because the attack is strong and they can create chances. But to win championship, it comes back to the defense. Brighton will play you. Brighton will counter you. Brighton will press you. They don't care what you do to them, they will press you. This is where your defense gets tested. And those your midfielders that they think they are world footballers, I don't think they are. They are not close to it. Caicedo, I've watched that guy. Thank God we didn't buy the guy. The guy is just as average as anything. So it's going to be a real test. It's not a dig, to be honest. I've watched the guy. He fouls a lot more than what you expect a DM to. He doesn't have the physique. So he covers by, he gets like card almost every game so far. Go and check the guy, which is wrong. So
Yeah.
let's see how the defense get tested against Brighton. If they succeed and win that game, I will start changing my mind about Chelsea for this season.
Yeah, you made a very good point about the defense because that's where I still have it down. And I think they're missing the fact that they don't have their right backs. Malo Gusto is out, and Rhys James, is perennially injured, unfortunately, as fine a footballer as he is. So I think that still causes some cracks in the defense. And like you rightly pointed out, Caicedo, right? When you rank Caicedo up against the likes of Rice, against the likes of Partey, against Rodri, who we've talked a lot about, a lot of those guys, they don't win, they don't recycle possession, they don't win back possession by chasing players around, which is what I see Caicedo doing a lot. He's constantly hunting down the ball. These I would call them elite midfielders tend to usually be in the right spot at the right time. They are very good at anticipating where the ball is going to be ahead of the move, and then they are ready to shut down the play from the other team. And that's where I think Caicedo is still lacking a little bit. So let's see how they, like you said, Brighton is going to be a good test. Cincy, let me get some neutral perspective from you on Chelsea Brighton. You don't hate or love Chelsea, so I feel like you'll give a balanced opinion. 2-2 draw.
I want to say both teams are actually in form, but because Chelsea is playing at home, right? So I would give them the banner on this one. I think they would probably come up 2-1, and they're playing with Jackson in form. I think Mikel Obi has found a way to Jackson. I don't know if you guys saw the insults. He called him out. Yeah, and I think ever since that incident, the guy has been on form. So I think that must have been a good thing for Chelsea. I think Chelsea is definitely going to be. I want to give them the advantage since they are playing at home against a very good Brighton side.
Yeah, so for those who missed it, John Mikel Obi called out Nicholas Jackson on his podcast and said that, he doesn't think Jackson is at the level that Chelsea needs, that they need an elite striker. And Jackson actually replied, which I would have expected that he would do his talking on the pitch, maybe say something or do a signal after scoring goals. But he actually replied on social media and told Obi to shut up. But he's also been delivering on the pitch and he's been scoring as well. So, it's turning up to be an interesting season. But like you said, maybe Mikel Obi has found a way to get under his skin and get him to respond. Charles, last comments from you before we move on and get predictions from the other games and look at the Man U Spurs game.
3 things. Mikel Obi said what a lot of people have been saying or wanting to say. So I don't think he was saying anything wrong at all. I'm glad Jackson is responding on the pitch, and hopefully he continues to respond. Number 2, Biodo mentioned the Chelsea defense, which I totally agree with. They are not where they're supposed to be yet. And you mentioned could be the issue of the right back missing. Even whether it's that or not, I also think Fofana returning and Tosin coming in, we bought Tosin for Fulham during the summer. I think once those guys
he was on a free, by the way.
On a free, yeah, we got him on a free. Once those two guys figure out themselves and become stable, I think the
Wait,
defense will be fine.
which Justin is this?
Adarabioyo, the guy from
Oh,
Fulham.
okay, okay.
Yeah, so I think I agree with Biodun. The defense is not mature yet, but it's maturing. And if once the right back is, once Gusto is back, once Tosin and Fofana figure themselves out, I think we'll be fine. Now for Caicedo, I also agree. Caicedo is not where he's supposed to be. Would he get there? I think he would eventually. Maybe not this season. But that's where we have the backups of someone generally someone I think is better than Caicedo, who if he was fit would be playing that position.
Who's better
Lavia. Lavia, I think, is the real man for that position, not Caicedo. Now, Caicedo was bought with way more money, so he's going to play, and of course, he's fit. But if you watch the few games Lavia has played, Lavia is the real man. He plays just the way you guys are saying he should play. He doesn't chase the ball. He's where he's supposed to be, whenever he needs to be there. The way Rodri and Rice and them play. So maybe Caicedo is just a stopgap for now till Lavia comes back fit, and we'll see the real Chelsea. But yeah, I agree with a lot of things you're saying, Biodun. And hey, I look forward to us winning the game and hearing the positive things you have to say about Chelsea. That would be,
like I said, if
very interesting.
That will start convincing me and having me change my mind about Chelsea.
And I can't wait to hear what you say if we win the
Oh,
game.
we need this guy.
Like I said, you can't win this season. You can win next season. I don't see you winning anything. And I said the reason. The reason is because you don't have the defense to win any championship this season. I mean, you have Europe. You have Europe to play as well. So go to Europe. Go see what you can do.
The Conference League is.
No, they have a different Europe to play. Europe is one out of man.
There's Europe and there's Europe.
Wait. Cincy, it's funny. It's coming from you. Cincy, we're gonna get to it. But it's funny that it's coming from you.
Let's take predictions real quick. We're about to bring CC.
We did
All right, so I'm just gonna go down the list. So Biodun, starting with you. Everton, Crystal Palace.
Oh man. Everton, Crystal Palace, bro. Everton has to get a result. You know I've been predicting Shandak like this guy will leave. Show the schedules fixtures.
Yes.
And Crystal Palace has been doing well. At least they held Man United, right? Even though Man United, okay. Anyway, I think it's gonna be a draw, 2-2.
Okay, draw. Okay, so they get a result.
Yeah.
Okay.
You realize you didn't take the prediction for Chelsea Brighton though.
No, you guys gave your predictions.
No, I was going to give mine, and you said I should hold on.
Okay, all right. Let's take your prediction.
So what's your prediction?
I'm just thinking it's going to be 2-0 Chelsea.
Oh, really?
2-0. Nil.
Hi, man.
Wow, I love the confidence. You can see, like I said, he's back in the Chelsea jersey.
Oh,
he's
jersey.
confident.
Okay.
He's the jersey.
You don't want your prediction.
He's feeling immortal at the
moment. For the fact that you didn't even think Brighton could score, that shocks me. Like,
doesn't expect them to score.
FYI,
guys, Charles is telling you guys don't play Welbeck or Joao Pedro in your fantasy. This
Welbeck, Joao Pedro, those guys are doing well.
They're doing great, yeah, but you know,
I think it's a 2-2
against Chelsea.
I think it's a 2-2 game.
2-2 game.
Wow. Okay. All right, Cincy. Forest, Fulham.
Prediction on Chelsea Brighton.
Chelsea Brighton.
Yeah, give me your Chelsea Brighton and then give me your Forest Fulham.
I already said Chelsea Brighton. I told you I was going to be 2-1 Chelsea.
2-1, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I said 2-1. So Nottingham Forest Fulham. I actually love this Forest coach, man. I don't know. Remember the last podcast we had? I told you guys against Liverpool that I was actually tipping him. He's the only reason why I think they have a chance against Liverpool. And I wasn't surprised when they nicked that win. I wasn't shocked. So this guy is a very good coach. And Fulham too is in form. Fulham is a very good team. But I think I'm going to give Nottingham this one. I'm giving them
a win or a draw?
A win. I'm giving them a win.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, wow. And it's especially the fact that they are playing at home. And again, the coach is a big factor. You know, he knows how to put a decent mid-level team together.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think something that is very important to note about Forest this season is they have a very mean defense. They've only conceded 4 goals in their 5 games so far, and they've played some tough games. Like you said, they didn't concede any goal against Liverpool, and Liverpool has been scoring very freely on the onslaught. So something to look out for there. All right, moving on to Wolves Liverpool. Charles.
Um, yeah, I don't think Wolves have figured themselves out yet. They are
Yeah, they're
blowing out
bottom
and
of the league.
cold. I'm sorry.
They're bottom of the league.
Yeah, they're bottom of the league and they'll remain there. I
The
think
five
Liverpool
games.
will easily win this 3-0.
Okay. 3-0. Wow. Okay. All right. And I'm just going to say Aston Villa wins against Ipswich. I don't expect any different results. Which brings us to the last big game, the Sunday game, Manchester United against Spurs. Mr. Cincy, the reason why you're here, why we brought you on. Give us your feelings. Tell
Everybody
us
wins.
Tell
Ah,
us
You have the
how
floor.
you feel
up
about
man,
Ten Hag. You have the floor because
up
we
man.
saw the 0-0 draw. Man U Crystal Palace. Ten Hag talked a big game ahead of that 20 game. He said he doesn't want to hurt 20. And maybe that's why. Maybe he didn't want to hurt them was why they ended up with the 1-1 draw. So tell us, they've been
So
drawn
now,
like Okra and Ogbono recently.
yeah. So United, you guys already know where I stand with United. It's always the same old story, unfortunately. And we had the game against Southampton, which was very, very expected. I expected United to show up and win that game. And they won 3-0, but I figured that game was a lifeline for Ten Hag, if anything, because I didn't read much into it. And thereafter, we played, I believe, I can't remember who we played after. I think we played, who did we play the next game? We played Crystal Palace. Then, no, we played Barnsley. They won 7-0. Then I saw the likes of our, beloved celebrity brother LTD Don dancing to, that 7-0. And I was like, I don't know about this one. No, I'm not sold, but knowing the kind of team United is. So when the real challenge started against Crystal Palace, now this is the thing. We actually started that game pretty well. I know me, I'll be very honest. We played pretty well,
Oh
but
god.
we just couldn't find that final touch.
Why?
And the last 30 minutes of the game was just a disaster, man. And we could have easily lost that game, unfortunately. But we ended up with a draw. And not only that, and after that one, we ended up playing another, team that we feel like United should be winning by, a decent margin like FC20. And we went back to Europe and struggled again. And again, this continues to show these, lapses that United still continues to struggle with, unfortunately. There is inconsistency in the team. And I think Ten Hag is still finding it difficult to know what his real strategy is. He's still
What's the core though? Where is that coming from? Is that coming from how Ten Hag sets up the team? Is that coming from the
I think
players?
I think it comes
Is
from a
that
lot of
from the
things.
system?
I think it comes from a lot of things. And again, I think it comes from the fact that he's I think he's overthinking it. And I think in deep inside he's a little bit confused, but he's also trying to put on this facade like he knows what he's doing. And and I also think that again, the transfer he made, he brought all these guys that he already played with. And I told you personally, like any coach that is doing something that he already knows before is going back to his old playbooks. It just shows that you haven't evolved in your game. It shows that you are still living in the past. I mean, look at the likes of Pep. Look at the likes of what's his name? If the guy that left Liverpool, Klopp. I mean, look at all those guys. Yeah, even Arteta. I mean, they are finding ways to adapt to their games. They are making different.
Maresca.
Yeah, Maresca too is no. Don't get me wrong. Maresca is actually going to be a top coach eventually. I know. So
better leave Biodu.
So they are showing.
He can't see the future.
So they are
Blinded by hate.
So they are showing us what they can do. We already know the teams, we know the setups, but United is still finding it difficult to find themselves to put it together. And I'm sorry, by now, Ten Hag should not be having this problem. He should not be having this issue. Again, this is my problem with them. And now we are playing a team like Spurs. I'm not getting me wrong. Spurs is, still has this Jekyll and Hyde syndrome where we don't know who's going to show up.
The ball.
Yeah, I mean the ball, but we don't know who's going to show up. But again, against this game, honestly, it's so hard for me to tip the hat to United, even though we are playing at home. I can't even give us the advantage. It's very, very difficult for me to say it. Unfortunately, I think the best that I'm going to be hoping for in this game is a draw. But I don't know. I want to say draw, but I can just see them messing this up again, man. I can literally just see them like messing it up. I know, and it's like it's just gonna be like one of those, them just self-diffusing themselves out there and just detonating the bomb. And Spurs doesn't even have to even do much. It's just gonna be a cataclysmic.
Your trauma is showing up.
Hey, one year.
Unfortunately, hold your prediction. I'll come back and take your prediction. I'm going to come to you, Charles.
Yeah.
So about 2 seasons ago, right? Casemiro, alongside Partey and Rodri were, some the best center, midfielders in the league, right? We were praising the three of them. Partey has declined a bit, and Casemiro had that horrendous showing against Liverpool, right? And so far, he hasn't started against a game since. He's been sort of taken out of the limelight, and Eriksen has taken that place. Now, I looked at some stats for Manchester United. In as much as I know Cincy is unhappy, some things that, when you compare Man U this season versus last season, we're only 5 games in, but the stats are saying that Man U are tending to hold possession more. So they're averaging 56% possession so far this season compared to, I think it was less than half of the games where they even had 50% possession last season. They're conceding less shots, so Onana is having to make fewer saves this season. I think it's about 2 saves on average from Onana this season versus 6 at the same stage, I think, last season. So it seems like, especially after Casemiro has gone out of the team, they've tightened up a bit, more defensively, which is showing up that, there are a lot of more clean sheets. Yes, they conceded against 20, but fewer goals conceded, fewer chances conceded, fewer shots, which is very important coming up against a Spurs side, that is going to go gung-ho. How do you see this playing out?
Yeah, you said a lot of things I wanted to say, but specifically about the defense. Everything you're saying is what I had thought about when I was making my FPL change for this weekend. And I said something to myself, Charles, buy a Manchester United defender. I bought a Manchester United defender, although he's on the bench against Spurs. But the point is, on the long run, Manchester United's defense is going to show out. I don't know about their attack yet. There's still a struggle between who's going to start: Zexay, Haaland, Rashford, Anthony. What's this new guy's name? Hamad, and then Garnacho. They have people, but they don't really have
Anthony. Sorry, go ahead.
Exactly. Shout out to Anthony. But true about it is the defense has woken up. It's something I don't know what Ten Hag. I mean, they bought Delete and they brought Mazraoui, so we expected the defense to step up. Although Mazraoui is kind of just a like-for-like replacement for Wan-Bissaka, but Delete alone is top notch. If the likes of Martinez stays fit, I think overall there's a defensive power they are having, which also comes from what you mentioned, Ayo, possession. They're holding the ball more. They have more possession. So when you have the ball, your opponents can't really attack you at the moment. So that is showing their numbers. I think this game is going to be a goalless draw.
Wow.
Man is going to, yes, I know Spurs is going to come at them, but Man is going to probably frustrate Spurs so much, and nobody's going to consider at the end of the day. Because like I said, I think Man U's defense is going to help them on the long run. Now, would they help them win the league? No. Would they help them make top 4? At the beginning of the season, I predicted Man U will make top 4. I still kind of stand by it. I know since it's gonna, I know.
No, with the way Aston Villa is playing, man.
I know. I mean, we're 5 games in. A lot can still happen.
I know, but not with the Aston Villa and Liverpool is playing.
But the point is, Man U's defense has stepped up, and as Biodu mentioned, you win championship with defense, which I'm not saying Man U's gonna win, but with that, if that defense stays solid, Man U can grind out results. Because if your defense is solid, your attackers just need to do what they're paid to do. And if they nick a goal here and there, results come out from that.
Yeah,
so against Spurs, though, I expect a goalless draw against Spurs. But in the long run, I think Man U's defense is going to really, really help them this season.
But the attack is not scoring.
That's the point. That's why I'm feeling a goalless draw. And that's why I'm not saying they're going to win the league. I'm saying
but there's only so much. There's only so much your defense can take, though.
I know. But now the attack is not scoring. Doesn't mean the attack is not attacking. They're just not potent. They're not converting, but they are attacking. They're getting the ball. They're holding the ball. They are pressing the opponent. They're just not putting the ball behind the net. If they figure out who's going to put the ball behind the net, maybe things will change. But in the meantime, because they're holding the ball, because they're defending properly, their defense is going to do a good job. What the attack does, that's their problem.
Yeah. All right, Beto, let me get your thoughts and then we'll take predictions and wrap up.
Honestly, so sometimes Charles just mess up in my head because I don't understand what he's talking about. You understand? You see, so the question is, before I say anything, are you comparing Manchester United's defense to Arsenal's defense? Because
So that was what you
that's
got
the
from
best
everything I
defense
said.
in this league so far.
That was what you got from everything I said.
No,
Because I didn't mention Arsenal.
no, I'm going somewhere. Can you answer that question?
No,
Are
I
you
agree.
comparing-
I agree.
Are you
Arsenal
comparing
defense.
Manchester United level of defense to Arsenal's?
I never said that. I'm not saying that.
No. I'm getting somewhere.
Okay,
Can you
okay.
just answer that question?
No, that's not what I'm saying. No.
Okay. Can you answer that question?
What's the question?
Are you comparing Manchester United's defense to Arsenal's defense?
No,
This
I'm not.
season? You're
All
not-
I'm
okay.
saying is Manchester United's
Second
defense
question.
has improved.
Manchester United defense close to Arsenal's defense?
Where is this coming from?
No, answer the
Because
question.
I never mentioned that.
Beto is carrying you somewhere. Better be careful where you follow
going
Beto.
Okay, that's the last question. Answer that one. Then
Where carry you go? I don't know.
okay, you cannot answer it. Guys,
plead
the
the
reason
fifth
I'm
on
asking
that
him this question is
I
this.
plead the fifth on that one.
Okay,
I
the
choose
reason
not
I'm
to answer.
asking this guy the question is this. He keeps talking about Man U's defense as if it's great. You understand what I'm saying? And he's saying that defense will carry Man United far this season. No, it's not even close. When we talk about defense, like, okay, how many games left, right? This is the 5th game, Ayo? Is this the 5th game?
Yep.
Okay.
No,
so
we've played 5 games so far,
We've
so
played
this is
5
game
games.
6.
Since I asked you a question, what about the attack? You said they don't need to score, but they don't need to concede, right?
I never
So give
said
them
that.
1 point.
See,
Give them 1 point.
You are hearing
Hold on,
the
hold on,
wrong
hold on.
things.
Hold on,
That's
hold
not
on,
what I
hold on.
said.
You spoke it. Let me talk.
But
Give
that's
them
not
1
what I
point.
said, though.
Give them 1 point. 33 points. How many points has Man you gathered so far? Plus 33 points. Give it to them. See, the point I'm trying to make is that defense is okay. You spoke a lot. If you go and replay what you said, you spoke a lot about Man U's defense more than anything. Half of what you said was on Man U's defense, which I disagree. They bought players. Some of them, unfortunately, are injured. But that defense is okay. It is the same defense that was tested against Liverpool. Have you forgotten? It was
That was
tested
one
against
game.
Liverpool. It was
That
all
was one
over.
game.
It was all
No,
over.
but
It was like
I think
3.
that Liverpool game was
It
the
was-
first game where
But
the
it's the first game. The fairness is the first game.
Leave your
first
room.
game that defense came in.
That defense came in. No. That first game that he started delete.
Right,
Yes.
yeah.
Delete has been coming in as a sub.
Yeah.
As a
Yes.
sub. But first game that he started delete. That's the
Yeah.
point. Now, they scored 7 goals. They were sitting on defense, jubilating, doing like this. And I'm watching them. 7 goals. Reserve these goals. Reserve these goals. Reserve these goals. They did not. Now they're out of goals. You understand what I'm saying? Ugate, whatever you call him, has come in for Casemiro. I love my guy, Case. But now you guys have benched Case. I think you will suffer for Case. Because Casemiro has experience, but you are benching because he's an old man. That's fine. Bro, it will take some time for folks like Uwate to settle into their defense. Beno is young, he needs somebody to partner with. It is against Spurs. Guys, Spurs might lose game, but go be honest to yourself. Be honest to yourself. Spurs has been playing very, very good football. To be honest, against the Arsenal game, if it wasn't Arsenal, I was really praying that they score and equalize, that they deserve the points in that game. The point I'm trying to make is the way Arsenal defended against Spurs. I don't see Man United defending like that against Spurs. That's why I think there will be goals. That game cannot end up 0-0. It is not possible.
I don't think so either.
The way Spurs play, the way they press, you guys will be forced into a mistake. Can you score? Yes, you can score because Spurs is porous. Watch Newcastle Spurs. They played all the game. They forgot to lock the door. And the arm robbers came in. So, you understand what I'm saying? You can keep going on the offense, but you got to be aware of your defense. So, your Rashford is not making any moves. It's not quick. The folks that are quick are Garnacho. Will he start? I don't know. You understand what I'm saying? So, you got to be quick and attack to even break that line. So, if you are not that great in attack, honestly, you make the job easier for Spurs. That's the way I need you people to look at it. If you don't press and counter and push them back, you just make this job easier for Spurs.
But they will press and counter, though.
No, Press will press you from beginning to the end.
No,
That's
but
how they
Man
do
U
it.
press back.
No, Man U doesn't press.
No, they
Man
do
U doesn't
press.
press.
No.
Not so much this season. They are more compact this season.
Since Ten Hag arrived, it has been these Man U people. They cannot even tell you.
They're very bad at pressing.
They
Man
cannot
U is
tell you
actually
what
So
very
maybe
bad at
press is
pressing.
not the right word, but
not so much.
Man U wouldn't just absorb pressure all through.
But that's what they've been doing, Charles.
Not all
That's-
through the
They
game.
have no pattern. They don't press the counter. That's what they do.
Okay,
they
so
do this thing at the counter.
that's the point. I said not all through the game. They're gonna counter you. It's not as if they're gonna.
Anyway,
they're gonna
my
attack them
prediction,
all through, they're not gonna respond.
Spurs will beat them at home 3-2.
Okay, so here's let me just drop 1 point real quick. Ayo.
All right, 1 point, Charles, and then we take
1
your
point.
prediction as well.
Okay, so
30 seconds.
Just to correct what Biodun has been saying, I never said Man U's defense is on Arsenal's level. I never even mentioned Arsenal. I never said Man U's defense is the best defense in the league. All I said is Man U's defense has improved significantly compared to last season. Man U's defense, and I think they are still improving. I think they're going to do well defensively this season. What their problem will be is in attack. They're going to test goalkeepers. They're going to test defenders, but they probably will struggle with finishing. Chelsea last season had the most chances created, but didn't score the most goals. I'm saying Man U may create chances, but wouldn't score as many goals. But they also wouldn't concede as many goals as they did last season. That's the overall point I'm trying to make.
So the prediction is Man U concede for this season. Your prediction?
What's your prediction?
Oh, I already said goalless draw.
Goalless draw. Okay.
Goalless draw against
Cincy.
Spurs. Okay.
Cincy, yours?
The draw game. Man.
Seriously, take out
Yeah,
the
man.
emotion. You're a Man U fan. We know. Take out the emotion and predict.
I don't want to
Or
say
you can do
win.
like me. Give your emotional prediction and give a realistic prediction. Let's go.
You don't want
I
to
want to say
say
something.
I want to say 2-2 because I'm not going to lie. United is
2-2
seriously
draw.
underachieving right now. So, and I
Is
can't
Højlund-
tip them.
Is Højlund available?
Not yet.
Okay.
I think that's somebody that
you
will meet.
you have no power in the attack. You have no power. Basically, you have
Yeah,
no power.
that's
That's-
some guy that we
that's-
actually miss, man.
Yeah, that's the only
that's-
guy that
yeah.
pushes the attack.
That
Unless
is
you go and
the
recall Marshall.
Alan.
I think
It depends
Alan
on the Rashford that shows up.
Alan
Spurs
show up
sneaks it.
again.
I
Forget
don't
Alan.
trust him.
Rashford don't show up again.
I think Spurs will sneak this. So
Possible.
I'm calling it.
Honestly, it's very
I'm
hard
calling
to
a win for Spurs. It'll be like a
Okay.
2-1 or a 3-1.
Yeah, I go with my prediction. I think Spurs is winning this.
Okay.
All
You know why I
right,
said-
awesome.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, just to wrap up, very, very good session. I've enjoyed talking about this with you guys. But yeah, very good session. Looking forward to the games. Please, if you've stayed with us, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and we will catch you again next week.